I thought my crochet math was broken, because how do you start with 5 inches and somehow end up with 7? That feels illegal. 1 minute your project is behaving and the next minute it's expanding like it paid extra for leg room on a flight. If your crochet has ever grown or shrunk or acted like it woke up with an attitude, today we're solving a crochet mystery. Hey crochet friends, I'm Mo, your crochet companion, and today we have a crochet crime scene because somebody started with 5 inches and ended up with 7. Let's investigate. So here's the case file. I had a recent crocheter that told me I started with a 5-inch chain. And by the end, it became 7 inches. Which honestly sounds slightly illegal. My first thought was that the chain betrayed us because chains already have, a little bit of a reputation. They twist, they tighten, they make us question whether we actually know how to count. Definitely that one. Chains are suspicious, but then my detective board started lighting up because sometimes it isn't the chain. Sometimes it's row 1. When we first start crocheting into a chain, a lot of us tense up. We hold our yarn tighter. We grip our hook like it owes us money. Death grip activated. Life choices, questionable. Then halfway through, our hands stop panicking. Your shoulders relax. I don't know, maybe your coffee kicks in. And suddenly, freedom! So let me show you. We're going to chain about 20 stitches. So how many do I got here? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Now watch this. I'm going to crochet a few stitches really tight, okay? We're just going to crochet them as tight as we can possibly crochet them. And let me tell you what, after years and years of doing this, it is really hard for me to do this now. I'm trying my best, right? All right. We got some that are as tight as I can possibly get them. Now, I want you to notice how small the loops have become, right? How small this has come. And notice how the stitches, they pull inward, right? See that? How it kind of starts to curl a little bit. Now, watch what happens when you relax and you loosen up your grip. You loosen up your death grip, right? You just relax and let it flow. You might even do it a little bit sloppy. Let's do a sloppy one. There's a sloppy one. Let's go a couple more sloppy ones. Couple more sloppy ones. There we go. Notice the difference between the first few stitches and these stitches down here, right? Basically, your stitches, they open up. The fabric actually changes. And if this slowly happens across your row, your project can literally grow while you're crocheting. So your crochet math might not be broken, but your tension may just be changing while you work. But my detective board uncovered another suspect because it isn't just how tightly you're holding your yarn, it's also where your yarn sits on your actual hook. And this tiny little detail gets overlooked all the time. All the time, all the time. All right, so we're gonna look at where our yarn sits. So most of you will notice that my yarn sits in the top part here, the wider part of the hook. And when you do that, your stitches stay more consistent. But when your yarn slides up to the front of your hook, see how that makes it smaller? There's this spot right here. You can't always see it on your hook, but it's there nonetheless. But look at how much it shrinks, right? And then when you actually go where the actual gauge of the hook is, that's when you notice it open up. Now, I don't like to have mine tight on my hook. I just kind of do it so you can kind of see just a little bit of a gap. Not much of one, but just a little bit of a gap. And the tighter you go, so if you're here at the top, in the tippy top of your hook, your loops are going to get smaller. They're going to create tighter stitches, and tighter stitches change fabric size. Tiny yarn engineering. Crochet out there acting like a science experiment. Now, here's what I try to do, as you just saw me do. As I yarn over and pull through, I watch where the loop lands. I don't want it to pull way up toward the tip, and I don't want to yank everything really tight, okay? I want the loop resting comfortably in the same area every single time. Think of it like giving your yarn directions, not dragging it by the collar. Okay, so we're going to do this slowly. We are going to insert a hook into the next stitch. Watch how your hook, and sometimes, I also got into a habit of putting my index finger on the hook itself too, on the yarn, so it doesn't move. So then I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to pull that up, and I'm going to look at that so that I can make sure that I'm not going too crazy. Now, this piece of yarn is not going to be as snug as this one. So you notice, you just kind of want it to be about the same height. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through both of those. So that releases that tension a little bit, so you're not yanking and pulling. And then you're going to check it to make sure before you go. I know it seems like a redundant thing, but you do want to check it before you go on to the next stitch. Eventually, your hands do start learning the movement automatically. Okay. All right. You still with me? Did I lose anybody? Okay. All right. So we're going to pause to inspect our project. Seriously. You're going to look for places where the stitches suddenly change size. So here, my stitches changed size here, but got a little bit bigger down for the further I go. Because why? Because my hands started relaxing, right? You might actually catch the culprit if you do that. So what is the real fix? Okay. Now here's where it's a slightly annoying answer, because the fix usually isn't something magical, some magical crochet actual hack, right? I know. Boo. The fix really is slowing down, practicing, checking where your yarn actually sits, paying attention while your hands learn, and that's it. No crochet wizardry, because tension is muscle memory. Eventually your hands start arguing with the yarn, and one day you'll realize, wait, I didn't fight row 1 today. Honestly, that's a beautiful moment, right? And if you're in that awkward beginner phase where crochet feels slightly chaotic, you can come hang out with me in my school community too, where we're all solving those crochet mysteries together. Now, if you're absolutely done fighting chain foundation rows, I get it. No judgment, because sometimes chain foundations wake up and choose violence. If you've reached your limit, you can actually check out my foundation row videos. So I actually have a few of them out there that are specifically about different chain or foundation stitches. So you've got your single crochet foundation row, your half double crochet foundation row, your double crochet foundation row. I think I even did one for, I think, the lemon peel, if I remember correctly. Yeah, I think it was the lemon peel. Yeah. But, this is because building the chain and the row together, they feel so much more natural for a lot of crocheters, especially if your chains are tighter than your stitches. Now, I want you to try this. This is your practice challenge. I want you to chain about 20, and I want you to work one row very slowly. Watch where your yarn sits. Keep your loops consistent. Then crochet another row naturally. Compare them. Do the edges look different? Did your fabric grow? Did it shrink? Did it choose chaos? Because once you see tension, you can start fixing tension. And if tension has been frustrating you, you're not failing. Your hands are still learning. Every crocheter goes through a tension phase. Some of us visit, and some of us own vacation property there. So now I need answers. Does your crochet shrink? Does it grow? Or does it wake up and choose chaos? Because I still have questions. If this helped, hit subscribe and come hang out. Until next time, don't frog under pressure, and may your hooks never hide.